I'd like to show you how to set up skin-based animations and random animations. How I'm going to do this is using an expression to link a animation to a specific type of skin. And what we've done here is I've set up three different types of skins. And they're just using colors, so it's going to color the main prim, the body prim, on all sides, the color, whether it's red, blue, or yellow. And it's only using the category that I call type. Um, Now, why this is useful is because, say, you're using different types of prim configurations or sculpts within your skin sets, you'll be able to have animations that are specific to that skin. And how I do that is, since I have red, blue, and yellow skins, I have red, blue, and yellow collars. So if I have if my skin is red, then I also want the collar to match that. Now, of course, if this was the objective, you would just put your if you just wanted to set, the when the body's red, set the color of the collar, you would clearly just put that in there. But the reason I'm showing you a simple example of this is because, say, you want to have a sculpt that has a different position than another skin. Well, this will come in handy for that type of configuration. As well as whether you're rotating or repositioning the prims, resizing the prims. This allows you to have skin-specific animations. So what it's doing is, if I can get back into Second Life here, it's taking the type, the category I call it type, and I put it in an expression, and the animations are either red, blue, or yellow collar, but my skins are just red, blue, yellow. So if the category type is red, then it'll cache the red collar and set the red collar, and it'll tell us in local chat that it applied red collar. So this is saved, I believe. Yep. So what we'll do is I'll just drag off a couple copies here so that you can see it apply first the skin, then it interacts with the action object, caches the animation, and sets the collar accordingly. So applied the red collar and then applied the yellow collar. Ignore this for now. I'm just using debug code to test some new enhancements, but I wanted to take a break from that and show you guys some cool tricks. So that's how you would set up a syncing between the skins and the animations, is basically defining the category, the name based on the category in an expression, and then just just so if this was fur, was your category was fur, and you had like blonde and brown and purple fur, then you would just you would have blonde, brown, and purple collar or walking animation or sitting animation or movements of any sort. Again, this is just using one frame with no repeats or delay. This being the only frame. If you had additional frames, then of course you would define them as an additional vector or something sort of like that. That's 2 frames, 3 frames, 4 frames, etc. And you can have animation methods with 4 frames and then another one with 2 or 3. But once the the other methods reach their maximum, if there's still more frames that you've defined, it'll just be stalled on the last frame until it loops back around and picks back up on the first. Okay, and again, all of these skins here are common skins, meaning they're available from the first generation on, and the odds are all 0, meaning it's got an equal chance for all 3 of the skins to be applied. So let's go move on to the next example, and that would be applying a random animation or a random feature to your breed object, and this won't have anything to do with the skins. I just wanted to show you this cool example, and saved it over here, and I'll go over it with you. So let's get rid of these 2, move them back down. So we've got, in this one, in the start event, it creates a list called collars, and at the end of the list, indicated by N, it applies the entries red collar, yellow collar, and blue collar, which are the animations that I've set on the website. And from this list, I will apply the property collar, a random entry off of the list. So it'll pick red, yellow, or blue collar, and it'll define this word as the random selection, the random being indicated by the R. And what I do is as simple as the previous example. I just cache it based on the expression and set it based on the expression. Then I'll say that I've applied it. So it'll tell me which one that I've applied. So when I click save, it will select a random skin, cache it, and apply it to the breed. And it'll tell me in local chat that it applied the red collar. And I could just reset this again. Let's see, every time that any of the breeds, so if there's multiple breeds out right now, they would all be interacting with this and applying, every one of them would be applying this trait. And this could be useful for some simulations, but the simulation that I'm thinking would be maybe these were different types of features, different accessories. Maybe the person that you are your target consumer, the product you want to create is they get a random accessory. So they buy a single object, and let's say it's this as a box, right? So they get this box, and you res the box and select which breed you want, and it will give that random trait to it, one of the three that you've created for it, whether it's a hat or some glasses or other accessories or random features that you want to give to it. They would have to buy, a new box for each accessory. So what I want to do to create this simulation is I'll create a new script, and in that script I'm going to just use a simple extension here, which when you call the custom method @destroy, it will destroy the action object. Okay, and in case it's attached, it'll just remove the inventory, the scripts. So this can be found in the plugin repository. In other examples, I can rehost it so that you can find it easier under self-destruct. That'll be where I'll put it later. So when this event is called, it will destroy the object, and I've already created this setup for it. And what it's going to do is it's going to bind a touch event for only the owner, and when it's touched, and it also gives it a handle to remove it. So when it's touched, it'll give the callback touched, which is defined here. That's the touched event, and which you can define it any way you want. Of course, this could just be a simple, you just call it whatever, action, right? But it has to match the event that it's supposed to be linked to. Okay, so the same goes for the handle. You can name it what you want, but if you're unbinding it from the breed object, it would have to match the bind itself. Okay, and that fourth value is optional. You don't need it, but for this, it's just cleaner to do that. So when you select the breed that you want the object and you touch the object, it will remove the bind, and then it, just like the previous example, create the list and select a random one from that list, and then it'll cache the collar, set the collar, say that it applied the collar, and it will call on this action extension, which will destroy the box. So I will I've got this saved. No save. So let's save it, and let's just take a copy of it so that we can use it later on, right? And we'll define it like that. So if I'll re-res it out and show you examples of this momentarily. Now what I want to do, maybe I'm just OCD, but I wanted to turn off skins for this. Set that to false. And then for this, I want to set all of these back to black. Okay, now we got a good example here to show you. So I'll just res a bunch of these so that you can see that it's only being applied to one breed before the action object is destroyed. Again, please ignore this. I was working on some other things for the 2.16 release. So, now that this is out, it means if we touch any one of these breeds, it'll pick a collar and apply it to that breed and delete itself. See, it applied red collar. So let's do another one. Now we'll select this breed this time. Now it applied the blue collar. And again, color itself could be, it could be, you could be applying sculpts, you can be supplying a different type of animation, you could be doing a number of different things with this. I'm just giving you a really basic example of how to set up random skin-based animations, and I hope this tutorial has helped get you on the right path. Thanks for watching.